Hello, welcome back to Ribbon Candy Hooking. I'm Deanna. I've got a little bit of a hack thing for you today, a little bit of a shortcut that's sometimes fun. I'm thinking and talking today about hooking with velvet. A lot of fun, a lot of great possibilities. Some of the things about velvet, you can get quantities of it, you can dye it. You can't dye it with your normal dyes if you're used to dyeing wool or natural fibers because these are synthetics. This is stretch velvet. You can get it. I've got tons and tons in boxes here. I get it from different places, and sometimes I get medleys like this with a couple pieces on top. Well, all of this stuff costs quite a bit of money. So what do I do when I just want to see what hooking with velvet is like without having to spend a mint? This is what I do. This is what I did before I started spending a mint. I would just go to the store and get a card of these scrunchies, the stretch velvet scrunchies, because my daughter wears them pretty much every day. So these are dead cheap, and you can find them in most stores. If you want to go this route, just to see if you like hooking with velvet, you just literally take one of these scrunchies, come down here with me, and you be as careful and fussy as you want to be. I'm doing this for a video, so I'm taking some shortcuts, but you could easily unpick a scrunchie, with the seam ripper if you've got your sewing box going. I'm just cutting it out to show you how I would do this. I'm just liberating the scrunchie from the elastic. That'll take the scrunch out of the scrunchie pretty fast. And I'm going along the seam so I can have the most material as possible. I got right down to the central nervous system there, and I'm going to cut that right out. So now I've just got a quite big piece of velvet, right? And it is stretchy velvet. It's really nice. I'm going to now cut it like a snake this way, right along the seam, because I want to conserve as much as I can. It's not going to be a huge amount of material, but if this is the color that I'm after, if I really like this scrunchie and I only need a little bit for a big fat cloud or the center of a flower, then this is going to work great for me. And it made this much material. Let's see how much that is for an average scrunchie, just so we know. Something like, well, it's about 3.5 inches by over 16, almost 17 inches. That's a nice piece of stretch velvet. So now I'm going to cut it. I like cutting with my scissors still. You can cut this. I've cut stretch velvet on the Sissix or in other ways with the rotary cutter is a real good way. I'm going to cut it really simple and fast into some strips, and I'm going to show you what it looks like to hook with it. Now I've just got a strip that I cut with the scissors. I am not a perfectionist by any means. If you know me, you know this already. One of the things I do when I'm hooking with velvet is I do not bring the tail up. And the reason is because it's synthetic, the other side is not really the same color. You really see the end of the strip. And although I am not a perfectionist, it drives me a little bit crazy. So I leave my tails down when I hook velvet. That's the golden sort of no-no for rug hookers, but I'm not much of one for rules to begin with. And that is one of the rules that I consistently skip over. So you can see it pulls through really nice with a simple hook. I'm just doing some loops in linen. Really nice, fat, sort of plush loft to it, right? Really comes out nice. Just a few loops. And this is about 1/4 of my strip underneath that I'm hooking. So, with this kind of stretch, a strip of the stretch velvet goes a really long way. Out of that one scrunchie, while this doesn't look like much, right? Let me pull you back a little bit. While that doesn't look like much, that's quite a bit of material for me for this. And on average, normal material will go to about 1/4. It'll make about 1/4 the surface. So it would normally make that, but stretch velvet makes even more. So this is quite a bit of material. Again, if you're just looking to do that cloud in the sky or part of a flower, this could work a lot better for you than investing in yardage of stretch velvet. Just a few colors if you already really like them. These are from TJ Maxx. This was like $3. That yellow one I added because the solid ones are available too. But I just put together a kind of color palette for working on a project with these colors, right? But you can kind of pick and choose the colors that you want. It's a very simple project, very inexpensive, under $5 to get quite a bit of material from one scrunchie. And there you go. Then you know if you like hooking with stretch velvet or not. And if you don't, you don't. If you do, you just keep going. So one of the great hacks of rug hooking, very easy things you can do with not very much money. I will see you next time on Ribbon Candy Hooking. Take care.